Yo, no maniacs. Let the purge begin. It has begun, man, and we've got a lot to talk about. The 53 man has not been released yet, to my knowledge. I'm refreshing my Twitter as we speak. You all do us a favor and keep doing that yourself. King Booker World, what's up? AC Adam, Rich Boy, Brian Hendren. Let me see here. I saw Plank in the chat. He had to leave. What's up, Plank? Who else did I see there? Bunch of names that I saw. We'll get to those later. But hey, man, we know for sure you can kill the Jonathan Taylor news, man. That's dead. Colts are keeping him, so he's going to be probably on the pup until week 4, and who knows what's going to happen with that moving forward. But fellas, we got a lot of movement going on. We're going to get into the specifics, but what's your thinking so far?
Well, if you're talking John Taylor, I'm not all that surprised they kind of screwed up the whole conversation, right? Hey, we don't want you. We're not going to pay you. Hey, y'all should pay us super top dollar for this guy. It's just the most mixed message from a business perspective you could possibly have. Hey, buy this $1,800 cheeseburger. Why? I get a cheeseburger over there for $2. It's just a ridiculous, thought trained by Jim Irsay and the team over there. That being said, I really didn't expect I didn't expect anybody to cough up big capital to go and do this, because they nerfed his value just with the conversation that they put forward. So not all that surprised if his value comes like extremely down, if they accept something much less than what he's worth just to get him out of the door, then we'll see some sort of action there. But outside of that, I'm not very surprised.
Yeah, man, you said it right, man. Leverage. They destroyed their leverage. They had no leverage in that trade anymore. Once they did what they did, and as far as talking about them being injured, that was part of destroying the leverage. Then you devalue your asset on your own when you start talking about, oh, he has this injury that he doesn't want to disclose. All right, now you just devalued your asset. And then
even more.
Even more. And now you say you want to trade him, and now you have no leverage anymore because now you have to trade him, and now you want these ridiculous prices for this asset that doesn't want you and you don't want it. So now we're gonna lowball you every time you we get to the table. So it was just bad business by the Colts. Jim Irsay, potty mouth, man, not good for business. I know that the GM over there is just pulling his hair out every time Jim Irsay speaks, but hey,
it's so true. Ballard's good stuff,
Ballard's a good dude, man. We probably should have had Ballard back in the day, but it's neither here or there. We got King Poles right now, and we riding right now. So hey, I'm not surprised by the news. I'm not saddened by the news, man. We didn't need them. Would I have wanted them? Maybe, but at my price, absolutely. So that ship is sailed. Let's move on. Let's build out these Bears.
In other breaking news, Bailey Zappi, backup quarterback to Mac Jones, who was threatening his job last year, has been waived. Bailey Zappi, New England Patriots backup quarterback, has been waived. That's a surprise. That's a big surprise.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm just saying he got a lot of hype. He got a lot of hype last year. I'm the furthest thing from a New England Patriots fan. I have to put that out there first and foremost. I have problems with that organization, mainly because they've been amazing over years and we may have not been. Straight up jealousy. I wish I could say something else. That being said, they gave him a lot of hype last year. Bailey's and overhyped him to the point that Mac Jones is looking over his shoulder going like, what? This is my team. I'm trying to do my thing. And this is the type of hype I don't want. And it's starting, guys. We're going in a different direction. It's starting. Yep. This is the type of hype I don't want in Chicago. It's starting. Yep. If you got, you're watching Twitter, you're starting to hear those guys going, Page it. It's starting to get louder.
Started, dude. It's
starting to get louder.
You are not wrong, man. You are not wrong. Go ahead, Sam.
Yep. No, I'm just saying, you're right. It started already. It's not started to start. It's already started, man.
It started.
People were calling for, the the best quarterback on your team is always the most popular. I'm not going to say the best. The most popular quarterback is always the backup quarterback, especially when, we haven't seen much from Justin Fields. I'm just going to caution everyone, tell everyone to hold your freaking horses. The man did not play. Everything you saw was vanilla. They don't want to show just what Justin has, what he has improved on until the season starts. Everything was just vanilla. Could Justin have done a little bit more to impress everyone? Possibly, but he didn't, and it's fine. I think that the coaches have seen enough, and that's what I'm going to believe in. I think that we're going to be good, dog. So just hold your horses. The fan base, they'll flip sides once Justin throws that first dime with a touchdown, then the second one, then the third one against the Packers on September 10th.
Here's the deep, dark, ugly truth. Quarterback play has a certain traditional aspect to it. It looks a certain way. It plays a certain way. And, you see something non-traditional that's not quite what you're used to and what you expect, you think it's wrong. The truth is the quarterback position is changing. And people like Justin Fields are at the forefront of that change, whether people like it that way or not. I mean, what you are used to at the position of quarterback, that's your taste. Me, I can evolve with the times. I can see exactly why they fell in love with this dude and why they're going to give him 100% leeway to do and play the game the way he wants to play the game. It's not always going to be looking the way you expect it to look. And so, and you find it within you to be okay with that. That's the best thing I can tell anybody listening to the show right now. Find it within you to be okay with that. It's not going to look like Tom Brady throwing the ball all the time. Be all right with that, man. There's no problem with that as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully you won't feel that way either. But yeah, cool off on the Bajent stuff, man. He's a solid pickup, man. I mean, we got to steal, no question about it. But that guy needs time to develop. There's something to be said about NFL defenses, man. And you haven't seen regular season defense, man. So we don't know exactly what that's going to look like for Bajent. So let's just pump your brakes just a little bit, man. Let's just see what we have.
Couldn't have said it better myself. End of the day, he's an exciting prospect, and you guys should all be excited. But at the same time, be excited to trade him in 2 years when he looks like something wicked special. We can get an amazing high draft pick for him. Don't hype him up now and bring down Fields' mentality. Like that's what you guys have to understand as fans. Cool your jets. Stay with Justin, because I have to harken back to something that Dan Orlovsky said a little while back. And Dan, I don't necessarily like all of his takes, but he said something really interesting. And he goes, imagine if you have Chase Claypool and Equanimeous St. Brown on one side, and then you've got DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney on the other side in an empty set. The reality is this is still a running play. Under normal pretenses, it's not. But if there's a bailout, if there's a situation, you've got two blocking wide receivers on one side, and now your quarterback has an amazing option, a protected option to get out and rush. And that's something different. You can't really scheme that way for a non-mobile quarterback. So it's a very interesting world that we're about to embark into, and I'm here for it.
Yep, absolutely right. That's exactly where I was going to go with the kids. Glenn told us yesterday, Bajent is an asset that we can, appreciate by, sticking him on that bench and allowing him to develop. That asset will appreciate, and then at some point we can cast him off and get a nice little draft pick for him. That's what he is. That's what he's going to be for this team. Is he good? Is he good for what he is? Absolutely. He's going to be our backup. I like Bajent a lot. I think he has a lot to offer, but he's not Justin Fields. He's not as talented as Justin Fields. He doesn't have the arm strength of Justin Fields. He doesn't have the ability to run like Justin Fields. Now, does he have some things that Justin doesn't have? Maybe.
Yes, he does.
Yes, maybe. Yeah. He gets rid of the ball very quickly. I'll say that. But we haven't seen what Justin can really do in this season. And I think we'll see it coming up fairly soon. I think that the coaches are comfortable with Justin Fields because of the joint practices that they had with the Colts, and Justin tore those guys apart. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think that made the coaches comfortable with Justin. That's why they didn't display much more, you know, and moving forward into the season, I think we'll all get a chance to see, you know, what Justin has become, and we'll all be happy with that. And then it'll calm down some of the Bajent talk, you know, and we can move on and try to win games, man, this season, man, and try to compete for this division and then for this darn conference. I heard Glenn yesterday, kids, but I'm still trying to compete for the conference this year.
That's okay. That's okay, right? Like, you have to have, you know, you have to have lofty expectations. We want the team, the players, to have lofty expectations. The sky's the limit. Now, as fans, keep your expectations realistic. And that's all I'm going to say. Even from a realistic perspective, I have some lofty goals. I think they can win 12 games this year. I think that is the ceiling, and they have potential to do it. The floor is 8. Let's go, Bears fans. I think we can do some serious stuff this year.
Well, before we swing into the next topic here, I think realistic is just different for everybody. You know what I mean? For each person, is what I think is realistic, what you think is realistic. Samo on down the line, you know, everybody has their own expectations, and whatever that realism is for them, it is. You know, I'm gonna always set lofty expectations for the team, especially when I believe in the talent that we have. What's happening right now, I think people are kind of getting a little iffy because they didn't see the jail version of the team yet. And so what's going on is you got guys moving in and out of the lineup, and it's clunky looking on offense and defense. And when that team gels, man, I think we're going to be seeing something completely different than what we are accustomed to seeing. And I believe that. And so that's just my take on that. But here's some interesting news. I believe we know for sure, nothing's been announced that Travis Gibson got a trade.
Yep. Hey, address that real quick. Hold on, Nomad. Address that real quick.
What's that?
Look at the screen. Address that real quick.
You guys seem not to want.
You guys seem
no, man, Paul.
Slow your roll, Paul.
Come on, Paul.
You read that wrong, Paul. You read that wrong, Paul. No, we definitely cheering for him. I think people just need to, like, you'll heap too much praise on a player that's not ready just because you saw some flashes of him in a preseason game, and then you expecting this guy to come in here and light the world on fire, and that's just unfair to him. You know,
it's not just that. It's also that egos are fragile, bro. And this is just a fact. We need at the quarterback position and a few other positions in the NFL, you kind of need to be a bit of an egomaniac. You have to be confident of yourself and within your own abilities, and carry that confidence through a season. If you've got the crowd and the fans chirping trash in your ear about the guy behind you all year long, it's going to eat into your ego. What I'm telling you, Bears fans, cool your jets. Yes, Tyson Bagent looked awesome. I'm down with the entire Bagent case scenario, and if God forbid something happens to Justin and he has to play, I'll be cheering my heart out for the guy. But straight up and down, the louder those chirps get, the more it can affect the other player's ego, and we need him in a leadership, in a confident manner to lead this team. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I hear that, man. Let's just move on. I think I just don't want anybody to misunderstand what we're saying.
No.
Exactly. That's
we're just saying calm down. It's not that we're not supporting him. We support him. Hell yeah. He's a nice find, but just be cool about it.
It's not time to anoint him as the best QB on our team. No, it's not. That's crazy.
Let's jump on this.
Definitely want to make him a part of the team. Go ahead.
Let's just jump on this Travis Gibson news. So we know as of now he hasn't been traded. The question is, will he be released or cut? I'm thinking in my mind they're probably going to cut him now, because you know you got that's pretty much the best thing you can do for him now. If you gave him permission to seek a trade and he couldn't find it, that means he's unhappy being here with his role, and so you got to cut him, I believe. But what do you guys think?
Want to go, kids? Or you want me
No,
to
you go, man. You got it, Sam.
I don't think we should cut him, man. I really don't. He's still an asset. I think other teams, if we cut him, the team is going to pounce on him. I think that he still has some value for us on this team. I don't want to cut him and allow him to just walk away without getting something for him, even though, he has made his demands. We still have rights to him, and until, we're ready to part those ways and something presents itself that's, a viable option for us, then I'd say we hold on to the dude, man, allow him to make some plays for us this season. Maybe they just talk to him and say, hey, we'll give you some more playing time. We'll make sure that we appreciate your value, and that's where, get you a couple plays early on in the season. You can trade them anywhere from week 1 to week, 8 or 9. So we'll get you out of here. It's just not going to be when you want, that's what I'm going to say. I'll keep him on the roster for now. And because he's still valuable to us as well. So why not just hold on to him and then trade him, later on in the season?
Fact is, they already paid for him, right? So cutting him after waivers doesn't make much sense to me. You might as well keep him on your squad. You're already paying that money. I again applied Ryan Poles for being able to sit down and look at a situation and cut bait when he feels that it ain't working. You have to give the guy some respect for being above board in that manner. But I would keep him. The downside for Gibson here is the reality is he's not going to be the starter. He's going to be behind somebody else. His snap number is going to be lower, and his impact in that respect will likely also be lower. And that's not going to it's not going to bode well for his next contract with another team the following year. And I think that's what this is all
about. I'm of the mindset that when a player lets you know that he's not comfortable or he's not happy in his role, it's on you as an organization. If you respect the player, as coaches, as a GM, and everybody involved, it's on you that the level of respect and the level of effort he's giving you, you could at least in your I guess in what you can do, you can at least accommodate that guy and the best thing you can do for him is trade him. The best thing you can do for you, is try to keep him some kind of way. And that's not a happy marriage right now. So what's the next best thing you can do? Release him. Let him go find a home.
So I hear where you're coming from. And to me, again, it just goes back to whether he gets the ability to start elsewhere or not. I think that's really what this all boils down to for Travis Gibson. Are you going to get the ability to get on the field, get a fair amount of snaps, show who you are to earn your next contract?
He's got no
I know nobody does other than the other team who's going to come forward and say, hey, we'll give you something for this guy. If that's a scenario, cool. You'll sit down at the table and you'll make your negotiation and you'll decide whether to sign on with that team or not. I think it's only, like I say, I think that's what it all boils down to. If he doesn't get the opportunity to get snaps and he gets traded, it's a lose-lose for Travis Gibson.
Look, I just feel like, trading, releasing Travis Gibson right now is what's best for Travis Gibson. Holding
Releasing
on to him. Yeah, that's what's best for Travis Gibson. Just based off of, wait a minute. No, wait. You don't know where I'm going with this, kids. Hold on. Releasing him is what would be best for him. I understand what Nomad is saying. That would be what's best for Travis Gibson, given, the fact that he feels like he's ready to move on from the team and he's made his requests known and his feelings known for, what he wants to do and where he wants to be. And it's not in Chicago. However, Ryan Poles is responsible for doing what's best for the Chicago Bears. And what's best for the Chicago Bears is to keep Travis Gibson on the team right now and then get something for that asset. He's still an asset, man. He's still an asset to us either on the team, and he's an asset to us once he leaves the team in collateral, whatever collateral we receive for him is whatever draft compensation we receive for him, that's the asset we'll receive for him. But as far as him remaining on the team, we still know he can rush the passer, man. We can put him in there. We still know that he's going to give 110% effort because that's what's going to be best for him and moving forward in the contract year. So I just don't understand the position than just allowing him to just walk away and not getting anything for him this year when we could just keep you throughout the entire year. Now we've agreed to allow you to go out and shop yourself for a trade with your agent, and if your agent didn't come back with anything, then we have the right to just hold on to you until we can figure something out. So I think that's a conversation that we should have, and and work things out. But I don't want to just let him walk out of the door for nothing, man. And then he goes out and becomes this good player and he gets 8-9 sacks next year, and you know what I'm saying, we could have got a 4th, 5th, 6th round pick for him. I'll take whatever.
I know now I understand why you think the way you feel, Sam. I think you thinking of it in terms of football. Right. And it's like it's a game. It is a game, but it's also a business, and it's also very personal. When you have a guy that you really respect him and his work ethic and what he's brought to the team, his value, but his status on the roster has decreased. It's a personal thing. It's like, let's do all we can to make sure we accommodate this guy. He let us know his feelings. Now let's try to meet him halfway. I know what you mean, but hey, this is football, man. We can't just give you away for nothing. Well, that ship sailed. We're not going to get anything for him. And the best next thing to do as a person, as a man, is treat him like one and let him go and see if he can find something better. And so whatever happens, that's just my take on it. And I feel like if it's me, if I'm running that thing, I'm going to put him in a position to, because there's still players out there, man. It's like Travis Gibson isn't the only rushing in out there available. We're going to talk about a few guys too, but I'm on the, I'm a locker room kind of, I come from that aspect of it, man. And that's just me. You saw a starter have his role being diminished and he not, have a baby about it. He didn't act a fool. He didn't do any of that stuff. He just accepted it and wouldn't let his play speak for himself. I respect that man for that. And I think they do. And I think that's probably the route they might want to take here.
You know what, Nomad? I have to totally flip-flop on this and take a look from the locker room side as well, as opposed to just the business side. And, if he feels slighted now and he's brought back to the team, he can be a detriment in that locker room. Right, he can pull that locker room down.
He hasn't shown that.
He hasn't shown that at all. I'm just speculating here. I'm not saying he's a locker room problem, but again, he could be, considering that he's turned around and made that ask to lead the team at this point. So, yeah, you might be right. Potentially, depending on how, what the relationship is there with him and the team at this present time, I think that's really what it boils down to. If the relationship is still there, then more power to him. It'd be awesome to see him on the field, and on the team. The other way around, if it's something that's going to pain him throughout the season, let the homie fly, man.
Well, I think we all have merit in what we're thinking in terms of how we think they should go about the whole thing with Travis Gibson. I think neither of us are wrong. But I'm just gonna always side with the player more than anybody. That's just the way I think. But let's move on to the biggest news among us today was Big T Bell, man. Big T Bell got cut.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm hurt by that one myself, Tids. I'm hurt by that one myself. I think he'll definitely be added to the practice squad if he clears waivers. But I could also see a team, taking a flyer on him, depending on, what they have on their roster, because he showed a lot in the preseason. Like, he flashed to me, and that's what you want to see from a guy in the preseason, especially coming from a small school, as if he has the traits that you need to be dominant. And he has it, man. I think he just needs some polishing. And if there's a team that can use him as their 4th defensive tackle, 4th or 5th defensive tackle on their team, then they'll scoop them up and sit them down and, build them up, and we'll just be sad once we're seeing him out here sacking quarterbacks and, right, destroying running backs in the run game in the next few years. I didn't see that one coming because Ryan Poles said that he loved this guy so much. Yeah, he did draft the dude and gave him the opportunity, but we'll see what happens, man. I'm hoping he makes his way back to us on the practice squad.
Honestly, I was really hoping for him, man. I was really, and I have to go right back to the draft when he was picked and the conversation came about and Ryan was like, oh, he's my favorite human being and all that. I was like, this is just a pet project, man. It's cool. Do what you want to do. We'll see how this goes. But I have zero expectations for this kid. Kid balled out. And I hate to say that now because like I should probably shut up. I'll shut up in like 30 seconds because we've hyped this kid up. He's awesome. And I don't really want anybody else to clue into the fact that he's awesome. So this is me shutting up about Bell. I hope somebody scoops him and he gets paid, or he comes right back to us and we can get him to where we need to get him for next year.
Well, here's the biggest benefactor for us right now is all these guys have to clear waivers. Here's the benefit: we're number one in claim priority. So even when Bell, we cut Bell, and we're going to get to Kendall Williamson here in a second. That's the thing. If they really believed in those guys, and I believe they do, I believe he's coming back to this practice squad, and they're going to develop that guy. And I'm pretty sure he knows they had that conversation privately. Bell, who, what? But
no, he's saying.
He's quiet. Right?
They want me to get off.
Get off quiet. Don't mention his name. No, don't mention his name. We don't want anybody
I ain't
to hear
gonna say his name no more.
We don't want nobody to hear you.
Right. he's gonna clear and he's gonna make it back to this practice squad. They're gonna keep working on him, man. And so that's the best thing about it. When the cuts came out today, I'm gonna go through that list here in a second, but I wasn't worried about a lot of them, man. It's several of them that are gonna be on the practice squad, man. It's just what happens at this time of year. It's his business. It's what they have to do. He was in the office talking to Poles and Flus. They told him exactly what the plan was. We're gonna cut you now, but as soon as you clear waivers, we'll bring you back to the practice squad. That's just simply probably how it went in that office today.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's move.
That's absolutely what happened. Yep.
All right. So the same thing with Kendall Williamson. He got cut today. Another guy I think a lot of, man, I was high on him when we picked him, and dude has some really nice traits about him. But this is just the business of football, man. Once your roster starts getting a little bit better, it's going to be harder and harder to keep the players that you want. And so you have to prioritize exactly who you see as your future and how to place them on your roster to see if you can maintain development of them. And he's another one I don't think is going anywhere. He'll clear and he'll make it back to the practice squad.
I think you're right. I didn't see a lot of them. And at the same time, I kind of thought that he, I don't know. I thought AJ was a little bit better. I even put him on my. I put him on the practice squad in my scenario. So I think I was kind of bang on with that one. We'll see if he makes it back.
I think he'll definitely make it back. I think he just didn't show a lot during the preseason. Not as much as AJ did. AJ showed, playmaking ability. He showed that he's ready to come down and thump. He made a lot of tackles. And so, AJ balled out. AJ just beat him out for the spot at this point in time. That doesn't mean that Williamson isn't a good player and that he won't be back on the team. I'm pretty sure that he'll be back on the practice squad, and I'm pretty sure that he'll clear waivers and make his way back.
Yeah, some other names, man. Some other names that let me get to them right now. I got a bunch of notes here, man, but we got I think what's the biggest name outside of those two fellas that surprised you thus far? For me, it's easily Tristan Ebner. I
was waiting for it, bros.
I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. But what's bad about it, I'll tell you some context to why he didn't make the roster. Apparently, he was in concussion protocol for a good while, and that's not good, man. Especially in this day and age, and the heightened awareness about concussions, man. That is not a good sign, man. Young guy that's really never had a chance to really solidify himself in the NFL, and that's not good. I hope that's something temporary that he's dealing with, man. Whether he's on this team or not. For him as a person, man, to have job security, you can't get that. That's a red flag to every coach, every evaluator out there scouring these waiver wires. That is a big ass red flag.
Yep. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, man. I think I'm not surprised that he didn't make the team just because it was a crowded room. However, I am surprised. I'm saddened to hear about the concussion stuff, man. He's been out since week 1 because of the concussion. I think that he still has room to come back on the practice squad as well. You know, if he's once he becomes fully healthy, I think him having the concussion for so long is just it's not a good thing. Like you said, Nomad. That's when a concussion lingers that long, and yeah, there's definitely something there that's just. I'm not going to speculate on exactly what it is, but something medically that's going on that's pretty serious. And once guys have concussions like that linger, then they tend to get another one, and they start to repeat themselves with that head contact. So I'm hoping that that's not the case for him, and that he figures that out, and that he gets healthy. And if he gets healthy, I'm pretty sure he'll be back on the practice squad for sure. For us, if he's not picked up by someone else.
When I saw it, I was like, Nomad, they just stabbed you in the heart, bro. They just stabbed Nomad long distance. I know how much love you have for Tristan Ebner as a player, because I've been talking trash all off season about Tristan Ebner. Now, what I will also say is that throughout my trash talk, the more he played, the more he started to impress me, and then he stopped playing. Right, so I was like, oh, like okay, all right, he's doing okay out there. And all of a sudden he disappears, and now we have an understanding as to why he disappeared. Concussions are real, CTE is real. Hopefully everything works out with him and he gets healthy. But I will also say this: I heavily doubt he makes the practice squad in any capacity, and the reasons for that is there are some very interesting RBs out there on waivers right now. One being Trey Sermon. There's a couple interesting RBs that they might want to take a look at.
I think he got waived with an injury. I think
so too.
I could be wrong, but I thought I saw that. And dude, there's so many players we're about to talk about here in a minute. I just wanted to go over some of the guys that left our roster today before we do it. I saw J2K's comment about Leatherwood not showing any tenacity throughout the whole preseason. There's some merit to what he just said. I think he's talking more about the run game. I think that's what he's talking about. When pass sets, he was stellar. I stick to that. He was stellar. The tenacity in the run game and just being able to get out and move into the secondary and then behind the linebackers and get out there on your zone blocks and on your screen blocks and all that. He was lacking. But that still remains to me one of the bigger surprises to me. But the other biggest surprise to me is Davion Taylor. That smokes my mind right now. I thought when they grabbed him, he was a lock to make this team. He was a starter right alongside of TJ Edwards last year and played his butt off. It's nothing on the tape for Davion Taylor not to like. Only thing that came to my mind when I found out that happened, what came to my mind is he probably asked them to do it because he feels like he can start somewhere else, and they probably obliged and said, you know what, you probably can. And wish you would stay here with us, but hey, if you don't want to be here, no, we keep no prisoners, man. You gotta go.
I'm not surprised by it just because of all the plays that Michael Baskerville made. We haven't heard of him being cut yet. Michael Baskerville is a better fit special team wise. That's why I'm not surprised. Haven't seen Davion play special teams, and I think if you're gonna play backup, be a backup linebacker on this team, you have to have some special teams ability. Michael Baskerville excelled on special teams, man. I think he's a 4-phase guy, so they decided to keep Baskerville over Davion. So that's why it's not surprising to me. But like you said, Davion is a starting caliber linebacker in this league, so he's gonna find somewhere, man. He's gonna find a team to fit on, and he's gonna be good. So it's just not gonna be one. He's just not gonna be a bear.
Yep. I had to pull up my 53 man roster because I couldn't remember the name. But you spoke to the choir, man. You're preaching to the choir over here. Baskerville played very well. We got a lot of snaps from him. We got to see him play very well in the preseason, whereas we really didn't get to see much from Davion Taylor. I think he just got a couple of snaps towards the end. Just in volume. Now, again, we don't get to see them practice snaps, so who knows what they really see at during practice case scenario. But I was hoping for Baskerville. I have Davion Taylor on my 53, but secretly I was hoping for Baskerville because he played his heart out, man. Gotta say it. Gotta give it up to the man.
Hey, you know who else got cut today? JaVale McGee from the Dallas.
Oh man.
That's a bad man. I'm just messing around.
Hey
man, do you guys remember me at the bar room kind of scouting players? It was this player, I think people saw him down at the Senior Bowl, Isaiah Land from Florida A&M, a linebacker. You guys remember that? I bet you somebody in the chat remembers. I bet you J2K knows. But Isaiah Land, I think he got cut by the Cowboys. We're into some of the players have been cut that are notable. It's several of them. It's like too many to talk about in one show, but I'm going to go through a few of them that I have my eyes on. Isaiah Land, big, long linebacker, 6'3", 6'4", probably about 215, 220, kind of light, but he's the kind of long linebacker that Eberflus really likes, man. And he's just pure athlete, man. He's probably, I would guess in camp, he's probably technically raw, and I don't know if they had the room inside their team to have the time to develop him. So he's out there, us being first in line, the waiver wire, man. I don't know what you guys know about him, but man, he's a good-looking talent.
Yeah, I got nothing for you with Isaiah Land. I have heard the name a couple of times, and again, they are kind of stacked at the linebacker position, so I'm not surprised they might be letting go of some higher caliber LBs. That's all I got.
Yeah, Land was a good linebacker. I remember looking at him during the draft process. But man, we stacked that linebacker. I really don't feel like unless he clears waivers and we're able to stash him on the practice squad. I think Lamb would make his way over to the Bears. But other than that, I think the Bears are set at linebacker. I don't see them bringing in. They're probably going to bring in one more guy probably on the practice squad a guy or two. But as far as a guy that's going to compete for the 53 and be able to, get in the game, I don't think so, man. I think the 6 that we have, I'm comfortable with. I'm happy with. I think they're all dogs, man. I think Michael Walker, man, that dude. We haven't even seen what he can do. That dude is really good. We know Sanborn's really good. We know Noah Sewell's really good, and we still got Baskerville right here. So it's just becoming really crowded right now at linebacker, and they're all talented. So I don't know if we're gonna get the chance to get the Lamb experience, the Isaiah Land experience here in Chicago, man.
Well, there's a bunch of notable guys, man. Cameron Irving just broke that he got waived. He's a veteran tackle from Carolina. Everybody knows who Cam Irving is, right?
Yeah.
He's a nice piece to look at.
Yeah.
Let me look here. I got so many. Oh, Eric Rowe, man, safety out of Carolina, man. He's probably 30 years old, maybe. I've always been worried about our safety depth. If Eddie Jackson went down, free safety depth, and Eric Rowe is a qualified veteran, a starter in this league, and I think they ought to really take a good look at him, man. That dude would make me feel a whole lot better about the safety.
Would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they brought in another safety or, especially a veteran safety too. So, it's who we have. We have AJ Thomas. We have him up there right now. That doesn't mean he's going to stay there. I think that Elijah Hicks showed a lot of potential. He can play both sides.
I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, Elijah Hicks is pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good pickup. He is developing really well. He can play either or. So bringing in another veteran free safety is not a bad idea. I agree with that.
Go ahead, kid.
No, I'm just echoing Hicks, man. Hicks showed up. He showed up on special teams. That man tackles. He's physical. I appreciated his caliber of play throughout the entire preseason, and I'm glad he's on the team. We'll see if they do acquire another depth piece there at safety, but I think Hicks is fantastic. I really appreciate it.
Here's another name. I know you guys keep telling me that we got too many linebackers. You like the linebacker depth, but listen, a linebacker's coach is never, ever, ever going to get tired of studying and trying to see if he can upgrade. Christian Kirksey, a veteran of this scheme out in Houston. It's been a starter for years, man. They're going to definitely take a look-see at Christian Kirksey. Just trust me on that. I don't know if they'll bring him in, but they're sniffing around.
Yeah, Bearlissimo, this is live, brother. just hit you up. Kirksey would be a good look, but again, I don't know. I really like what we have here. We've got two high caliber LBs starting out. Sanborn's nasty. I won't get any deeper into that. And so is Noah Sewell. Not to take anything away from Michael Walker. He shut it down where he was at before. Like, he was pretty square over there. He's pretty solid over there. So unless Kirksey's coming in here to really do some damage, I'm happy with what we got.
Samo, I'm gonna name off a few names. Tell me which one of them you recognize and which one of them opens your eyes a little bit. O'Shane Examine, defensive end. Miles Gasson, running back. Tyree Phillips, offensive tackle. Sam, you muted. You muted.
Offensive tackle Tyree Phillips.
Yeah.
Dude he can ball, man. He's a big guy, long arms, athletic. I'm surprised he got cut today. You saying
yes.
he got They're trying to probably stash him on their practice squad.
Yeah, we ain't gonna let him.
Yeah,
You better not let him.
I wouldn't think so either. I think, man, it's gonna be a lot of guys like that out there too, man. Today, like especially on the offensive line, and I know Poles has done a lot of research on offensive linemen, so I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up a guy or two, and it'll best be welcome, man, because we're having so many injuries, man. And like I told you guys the other day, I'm done with the Lucas Patrick experiment and the Lucas Patrick experience that he's had here. I know that he's been injured, and we should take note of that and understand that. But even when he's been on the field, he hasn't played well, and I know he played through an injury with that hand for a while for us, but I'm good, man. I just want to move on from that and, get some guys in here who are going to be able-bodied and just, available more than anything. And, and some talent that we can actually develop, some young guys. I would like to see that. Let's make that happen.
I heard Bearlissimo. Hold on just 1 second. I heard Bearlissimo I saw him say, O'Shane Examine is got some juice as a 3-4 linebacker. But he's not a 4. He didn't see him as a 4-3 kind of guy. I get that, but I've also seen him have the same kind of juice with his hands in the dirt. So it's not like he doesn't have that to his arsenal. I think he can do it. Whether they see it that way, who knows? You might be right, Bearlissimo, but I'm sure he's got the kind of traits and pass rush ability that'd be intriguing to them to see if he might be something they can work with.
I'm good, bros. Where are we going next?
Let's go back, Nomad. The chat had some discussion. I think there are two things that we kind of missed that we didn't discuss. We have a new addition on our team via trade, and the other thing is there was a lot of discussion in the chat about EQ making this roster. We don't know that he's made this roster just yet because the official roster hasn't been revealed, but it's pretty much looking like he is or that he has. And I don't know, Nomad, how you feel about that? Let's hear your thoughts on that.
About the trade or EQ?
About EQ first.
Well, I mean, I've always said that they could always upgrade at his spot. Here's the thing for me. if it's left up to me, and I'm looking at it in terms of football and football only, I'm gonna go find me a more explosive, more reliable pass catcher than EQ. If it's in terms of you gotta take in consideration what you think they are thinking. Why do we want to keep EQ? Is it for continuity? Is it for his locker room presence? Is it for his path? I mean, his run blocking. All of that stuff is to be considered. It's not to be just washed over. You know what I mean? Because we're not making the decision; they are. So if EQ does make the team, which I have not seen the roster yet, that's probably part of the reason right there. All the things I just said. And so, man, whether we like it or not, we see EQ the way we see EQ. I think they could upgrade at receiver 100%. But if they keep him, I understand why 100%.
We can hold on. We got J2K breaking news in the chat right now. He says that Gibson has been waived.
Oh, there you go.
Let's take a look and see.
I believe it.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be. I mean, if J2K says it, I believe J2K. Hey, it's just surprising to me that they would just allow him to walk away.
Kendall Vildor too.
Vildor? We knew he was.
That one was to be expected. Yeah, that was to be expected. The other one, not so much. But I'll get to the EQ thing, and I think the first thing to be said is Bears fans can't stand wide receivers without hands. Okay. I think that's the moral of the story. The kid can block, and I'll be honest with you, as far as EQ is concerned, I think this is the one.
Okay. Some news just broke too. It's some Miami. I apologize for that. Blackwell, Jalen Jones have made the team. Looks like Travis Gibson, but Terrell Lewis has made the team.
We knew that was gonna happen.
Still hunting down information. I did say Kendall Vildor got cut, right?
Yeah, we not surprised, no man.
Here's a list. Here's a list. Wait a minute. Let me see here.
Kramer made the 53.
All right, let me just tell you guys whose veteran contracts were terminated. Andrew Brown, Aviante Collins, Doris Fountain, Nathan Peterman, Greg Stroman, big surprise, Simba Webster.
He played well.
All right, here are the people that got waived. Michael Baskerville, Travis Bill.
Baskerville got waived.
I told you guys, man.
It's crazy.
Travis Bill, Robert Jones, Stephen Carlson, Macon Clark, Kellen Deesh, Dieter.
Dieter's gone?
DeMarquise Gates, Travis Gibson, Jalen Harris, Robert Haskins, DeAnthony Jones, Josh Love, Big Roy from overseas, Michael Ojemudia, LaChallon Pitts, Bravion Roy, Logan Stenberg, Davion Taylor, Braylon Trahan, Kendall Vildor, Barrington Wade, Michael Walker. Michael Walker
got waived.
That's why I'm telling you they're gonna go sign some linebackers, man.
Wow, my God.
Heck?
So there you go, folks. There you go. Did I go too fast, or did y'all get all that?
Yeah, we got it all. Kramer made the team, man. So they kept Kramer over Dieter.
Oh, well, yeah.
And Patrick made the team. And Lucas Patrick is still a Chicago Bear.
They're paying him, dog. They're not going to, you know what I'm saying? They're paying him.
There wasn't a lot of dead money on his contract.
What's the biggest surprise? What's the biggest surprise?
Biggest surprise for me, well, I won't say it's Dieter Iceland. That's for sure. I'd say Michael Walker is up there as a big surprise. I thought they scooped him and they were going to play him. The linebackers are the surprise.
No, this is the biggest surprise.
Gibson
being released is the biggest surprise for me, dog. Now releasing Gibson and not allowing him to stay on the team and play for us, or just allowing him or finding a trade partner for him, that was just not good for business to me. But I
gotta hit up Chris, man, because Chris loves him some Dieter Iceland. I'm sorry, Chris. I got C-sharp. I'm sorry. And thank you. And did Cecil Turner make it?
All right. Somebody asked me to go over the list again. I'll go over it again. Here are the veterans contracts that have been terminated. Andrew Brown, Aviante Collins. Now I don't know what this means. This means rework him to the practice squad after this is all said and done. I don't know what that means, but they have terminated Andrew Brown, Aviante Collins, Doris Fountain, Nathan Peterman, Greg Stroman, and Simba Webster. Waived reservist Isaiah Ford. Bears have waived the following player with injury destination, waived injured, Tristan Ebner. Now I'll go to the main list that will waive. Michael Baskerville, Travis Bill, Robert Burns, Stephen Carlson, Macon Clark, Kellen Deesh, Dieter Iceland, DeMarquise Gates, Travis Gibson, Jalen Harris, Robert Haskins, DeAnthony Jones, Josh Lugg, Big Roy Metabika, whatever his last name is, offensive lineman, Michael Ojemudia, LaChallen Pitts, Bravion Roy, Michael Stenberg, Davion Taylor, Braylon Trahan, Kendall Vildor, Barrington Wade, Michael Walker, and Kendall Williamson. That's it. It's so many surprises in here. Wow. They're going to be active on this wire, man. They are going to be really active on this wire.
Oh, they're going to kill the
We need
wire.
a backup nickel. We need a backup nickel right the F now. We know that right now.
Yep.
Can we pull up the list and see who did make it? Who did?
Blackwell, and we know Blackwell and Jalen
Jones, which they should have, man. Those guys played very well last year, man. They showed a lot of promise without a pass rush. They showed coverage ability. So it was just about health for both of those guys. So this tells me that they believe both of those guys will be healthy once the season starts, which I'm fine with both of those guys making the team. It's just, man, the other cuts that surprised me. Michael Baskerville surprises me a lot, but we still have what? So that means we still have a backup linebacker.
He didn't say what's that? He didn't surprise me at all.
So
I know they can get.
So we kept 5. That means we only have 5 linebackers right now, right?
Right now, we got Tremaine Edmonds, T.J. Edwards, Jack Sanborn, Noah Sewell, and they kept Dylan Cole.
They kept Dylan Cole,
but he's got an injury designation. No,
yeah,
they got confidence that he's gonna get healthy, man. And
they released him already with an injury designation earlier, right?
I thought he was one of the first cuts.
I'm telling you right now, this is what I'm seeing.
Who made the roster with Dylan Cole, Tremaine Edmonds, T.J. Edwards, Jack Sanborn, Noah Sewell. Yeah, man.
Yeah, J2K looks like Don Rod made the team. I don't know anybody that realistically thought he was going to get cut, except kids.
No, I think he should have got cut. I'm just saying. I think he should have. I think that's how well he played. Mind you, again, developmental case scenario. And, this is just one of those. It is similar to what I was trying to say about EQ St. Brown before we really got back into where we are now. I think both of these guys are team guys that they wanted to keep on the team. I think this is probably the last season that we're going to see Equanimous St. Brown in a Bears uniform, and that's cool.
They're asking Sam. I mean, Sam, can you share your screen or no? I can
share my screen for it.
See the cuts. They want to see the cuts themselves. But if you can't, man, we can't worry about it right now.
Yeah, I don't think we could. I don't think it's going to work right now.
Okay. I could probably. Are you sure?
Let me try. Hold on. Keep talking. Go ahead and keep talking. We did talk about Bell already. We talked about Bell earlier in the show. We're hoping the same, that he makes it onto the practice squad. We're all heard about Bell.
Yeah, we're not. So Berlissimo, this is the thing. All right, we're trying not to talk about Bell. You see what you dig? We're trying to keep it quiet about Bell.
Man, I can't believe they only kept 5 linebackers. They kept 5 linebackers only. Wow. I'm just trying to. I just want to really take a good look at what this depth chart looks like. But yes, how about we didn't get into Dan Feeney. I did study him. I studied him all last night. I did my due diligence for you guys, so you don't have to. You can trust what I tell you on this.
Who? Kenny Powers?
And also, while Berlissimo is here, Berlissimo, good ass breakdown, man. That was yeoman's work. That was real good, man. I shared that on Twitter to make sure you guys go check that out. It's a really good breakdown on Dan Feeney.
Oh,
Here's
sweet.
the thing that sticks out about Dan Feeney. Two things. Number one, and probably second most important thing is his versatility. But the most important thing, given our situation with our center guard rotation and swing guys, he's durable. This guy's durable, man. He doesn't miss football a whole heck of a lot, man. He's dependable, but he's solid, man. I mean, you can make an argument that he might play center better than he does guard, but he plays guard really effectively, man, on either side of the ball. So he was a great signing. I'm not going to tout him as the next coming of Ike Siamalu or anything like that, but for the position that we're in the desperate position that we're in, he's a great signing, man. You know, nobody likes that Lucas Patrick hasn't been available for us, man, but you have to get some insurance on the team, and he's definitely that for us.
Again, he's paid too, and that's part of the deal. He's basically a free body this year, paying him relatively low on the pay scale. Cutting him didn't make as much sense, even given his inability to stay on the field. As far as Iceland is concerned, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't know what all the hype was about. Everybody loved him. Some Dieter Iceland, included Chris, big up Chris, producer Chris. But I didn't expect him to make the squad. That's me.
Well, here's the thing. Here's some other information I'm trying to get. I'm refreshing Twitter right now. Hold on, guys. Just bear with me.
All right. I don't know. I like the vibe that Feeney kind of gives me. I've seen a couple of interviews with him and things to that effect. It's a dumb thing. It's going to be my running gag with Feeney moving forward, but he reminds me of Kenny Powers from Eastbound and Down. I love me some Kenny Powers. Kenny Powers is friggin' hilarious. So we'll see. And it's just that, again, that over-the-top attitude and confidence that he seems to have in himself and his ability to play. And I love that in my players, man. I was talking about it earlier on. Hopefully he brings that to the offensive line when he gets the chance to, the touchdown at Hallis Hall.
So I think Daryl Gibson is a new viewer. Welcome, Daryl. Welcome to the fan, man. Keep coming on back. I think you must have missed the earlier part of the show. He said, I don't understand Dom Rob over Gibson. No pun intended. I'm happy about Lewis. I am damn happy about Lewis. But here's the thing about Dom Rob and Gibson. You could start off that commentary by saying, okay, he wasn't a guy that Poles drafted, talking about Gibson. That wouldn't be fair to the conversation. I think it's all about fit. It was all about fit. And you're talking about Gibson being a former starter on this unit, and then all of a sudden finding himself down at the last place on the depth chart. And he was trying his hardest to fit into this roster, but it did not work. And, he's a hell of a player for us, man. And I like Gibson just as much as anybody, man. But the thing is, he wasn't happy with his role on the team, and him being such a good player and such a good sport and a good teammate. I think they did the right thing by allowing him to seek a trade. He didn't find one. So, the next thing you can do for him is to waive him and see if he can find another team. So that's what we talked about earlier, Daryl, man. So I'm just, all I can say is I salute Travis Gibson, man. I do really respect that guy.
Daryl, same token. We've been talking. I specifically have been talking how much I thought Gibson has outplayed Dom Rob over the course of the last few weeks. So feel free to double back, take a look at some of the videos on YouTube over the last couple of weeks from a preseason perspective. I'm right there with you. They seem to see something in Don Rob that they want to develop, and I can't knock them for that. Now, maybe I can. The one knock that I have is that I also really liked DeAnthony Jones's play. Now, it may have been against the 2s and the 3s, but I thought he was fiery. I thought he really brought a lot to the table once more. And I know Nomad really liked Green. He liked Rasheem Green. I thought both of those guys also played better than Don Rob, in my particular opinion. But we'll see what's in store as we move forward.
Hey, Sam,
I like what they did. I like who they kept. No, I'm just going to say I like what they did. I like who they kept on the roster, as far as the defensive ends go. I'm still, really crazy I think it was really a crazy move to allow Gibson just to walk out of the door. But Nomad being the players guy that he is, he definitely understands that, the mutual respect between the team, or it could be something else that, that it's just a lot of bad blood there and he doesn't trust the team and they just allow him to walk away. Either or, he's no longer a Bear. Wish him well. As far as Don Rob goes, he is the bendier guy, the bendy guy, and he's still developing. So we're going to allow him to continue to develop as a Chicago Bear. We have dogs in the room who can rush the passer. Now we have Yannick, we have Walker, and we have Lewis coming in at third. So Don Rob doesn't have to be the man this year, which will be good for his development. So we'll, maintain that chemistry with him and allow him to learn from Yannick and the other guys on the roster and see what happens, man. I mean, who knows? We might add another guy, man. I'm not surprised to see Green go. Kids, I like D'Anthony Jones as well.
Who said Green was gone?
Someone mentioned it earlier. Said Green was gone.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Is he not?
He wasn't on the list that I said.
Can I? I got the list up. Can I share it?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can see it. Let's see if we can see it. Sam, you got to put it up. It's down there below us.
There we go.
All right.
So let's run this down the line. You might be right there, Nomad, because I haven't seen him on this list either.
I don't see him.
So I'll just run through this whole thing and we'll get back to where we were. Bears have reached their mandatory 53 by waiving 24 players, terminating the 6 contracts of vested veterans, placing Isaiah Ford on injured reserve. Oh, I didn't realize he was on IR either. Waiving injured running back Treston Edmer. So Ebner's gone, as we spoke about earlier on. The following list of players were waived. Micah Baskerville, linebacker. Travis Bell, defensive tackle. Robert Burns, fullback. Stephen Carlson, tight end. Macon Clark, cornerback. Kellen Deesh, tackle. Dieter Eisen, guard, as we spoke of earlier on. DeMarque Gates, linebacker. Travis Gibson, defensive end. Jalen Harris, defensive end. Bobby Haskins, tackle. D'Anthony Jones, defensive end. Josh Lugg, guard. Big Roy, I'm going to butcher your last name from Africa, tackle. But remember, he'll be back because he's a part of the international program. So, we'll see how he develops. Michael Ojemudia, cornerback. Lachlan Pitts, tight end. Bravion Roy, defensive tackle. Logan Stenberg, guard. Davion Taylor, linebacker. Braylon Trahan, safety. Kendall Vildor, cornerback. Barrington Wade, linebacker. Michael Walker, linebacker. Kendall Williamson, safety. The following vested veteran players with at least 4 accrued NFL seasons had their contracts terminated and become free agents, able to sign with the team of their choice. Starting with Andrew Brown, defensive tackle. Aviante Collins, tackle. Doris Fountain, receiver. So no stashing the Fountain of Youth on the practice squad, it sounds like. Nathan Peterman, quarterback. Greg Stroman, Jr., cornerback. Simba Webster, receiver. There's other notes here, unless you guys want me to go through that, but I think that's pretty much the bulk of it. I haven't seen anything with respect to Rasheem Green specifically, so maybe he did make the team.
No, I think you didn't see it, but I think Bellissimo led you astray. He led you astray. He said he misspoke, and Green did make the team, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, man, but we've got somebody in my DMs just told me since we let Stroman go, will we go after Kenny Moore over in Indy? No, I'd say no, because that would leave us with 2 starters at slot. No, I don't think that would happen. Long as nothing happened to Kyler Gordon, I don't think they'd ever make a move like that. Not with Josh Blackwell, they kept on the team while he was injured. And so, No, I don't see that happening, guy. I'm not going to say his name because I can't even remember, but somebody is texting me. Go ahead, man. Y'all keep talking.
That's interesting that they kept Blackwell injured. because they can give him an injury designation as soon as the season starts and potentially scoop up another cornerback.
Maybe he's not as injured as we think, though, man.
There's also that. You're right.
Yeah, maybe I think because we definitely need him going into the season because he's our backup nickelback. So if he's not healthy, if he weren't healthy, then I would have thought that they would have released him and picked up someone else and allowed him to go onto the practice squad and maybe move him back to the 53 later on in the year. But they didn't. That didn't happen. So I'm hoping and thinking that him as well as Jalen Jones are going to be healthy when the season starts, as well as the rest of our team in our defense. Hopefully, we got 2 weeks before game one, and it's starting to look like we're going to be a healthy team. That's just what that tells me. A lot of guys released here. We're hoping to get back on the practice squad. Michael Baskerville, Travis Bell, Dieter Eisland. Those are guys and names that I'm hoping come back to us in some way, shape, or form. If not, then hey, that just means that Poles is going to be picking up some new blood, some young blood, and some new guys off of other teams that he deems to be better. So we'll see what happens.
You know how on some people just assume when a new GM comes in, he's just gonna gut the team of every one of purge the team of every one of the former GM's players. Not so here. You want to hear the list of former players still with us from the Pace era? I'll tell you.
I do.
We still got Cody Whitehair. We still have Eddie Jackson. We still have Cole Kmet. We still have Jalen Johnson, Darnell Mooney, Justin Fields, Tevin Jenkins, Larry Borum. What a comeback story. Khalil Herbert. But Larry Borum, man, we got, hold on. I'm finna get him. What a comeback, man. Man, that dude came back like Mike Tyson when he came out of, and he just came back like Mike Tyson when he just came out of jail, man. What a turnaround, man. Dude there was a serious threat whether he would not make this roster. The threat was real. I think people before the start of this camp, I think people probably rightfully assumed
we all wrote him off. I know where you're going. Well, I definitely did.
Exactly.
We definitely did. We didn't think that he had it, man. He didn't show it last year. He worked his butt off. Seems like this off season. Now he's a lot better, a lot leaner, a little lighter on his feet. He's playing well within the system now. So we're all proud of Larry right now. He's going to be our swing tackle. I thought he played really well that last game against the Bills, and he solidified his position. Not mad at that at all. I like having the continuity of someone who's already been here and been in the system and understands it. So hey, let's ball now. Hopefully we don't need Larry. That's the whole point. I don't want to need Larry Borum to play on the field on Sundays. I'm hoping that Wright is healthy, and Braxton is like the Iron Man over there. He never gets hurt. He hasn't missed a game in his career. I'm hoping that continues this year as well.
You're starting to sound like me on Dieter Eisland, but I'm with you there, man. If we see Larry Borum, it's probably not something we want. But at the same time, I have to say this. I have confidence in Larry Borum, y'all. I think he played fantastic. And if it comes down to it, he'll do just fine and he'll lock down that spot.
Hey, kids, you want to hear some heartwarming news? You too, Sam. This is probably the most heartwarming story of this preseason. But it was sometime during last year, close to playoff times. It wasn't during playoff time, but Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin almost died on a football field. In fact, I think he did, and they brought him back. Maybe once or twice. I don't know the full story, but in the most heartwarming news ever, he just made the 53-man roster in Buffalo. I didn't think, to be honest with you, after a situation like that and an event like that, I didn't think there was any chance at all that he would make that team. I thought they were doing him a favor by letting him participate in the camp and just like, we're not going to write you off, but truthfully speaking, we're not going to keep you. We can't take that chance anymore. They are throwing all the cards in with it. He made the 53-man roster. So say it one more time. Damar Hamlin, after dying on the field last year, made the 53-man roster in Buffalo.
All right, so I'm gonna give him some flowers, and then I'm going to take the flowers away because that worries the hell out of me, man.
It should.
My guy, you know what I'm saying? My guy literally, he was just walking and he dropped. You know, he took a hit. It was a good hit, but he got up from the hit and was walking around before. Scary stuff, man. Scary stuff. You know, I would need to look a little bit deeper into what year he's in and what kind of contract he's in, because that might also play a little bit into it. Just considering, you know, insurance case scenario stuff like that, right? Like, wow, I'm so surprised. I was super surprised when I saw today that he's actually going to be back on the field doing it again, starter caliber. Wow, bro, that's frightening. I hope nothing but the best for the guy. I hope you know, I hope we never see anything like that on a football field for any team ever again.
Yeah, I don't ever want to witness any of that ever again. Like you said, shout out to Hamlin, man. Just wanting to get back on the field is something else that's really surprising, man. After experiencing something like that, hey, and shout out to the Bills, man, for giving him that opportunity, because they could have looked at it and said, hey, we don't want to be involved in this. But
Yeah,
shout out to them for giving him that opportunity to come back and play. I'm sure that they dotted their T's and crossed their dotted their I's and crossed their T's, and making sure that he's medically cleared, and that he's going to be all right going forward. So hey, if he takes the field and he becomes the player that he once was, that'll be even better. And hey, I'm happy for him.
yeah.
And so news is coming in that the team was working. The Bears were working with a couple of teams and had a couple of deals they were working on for Travis Gibson, and the deals were never able to be finalized before time ran out. So they were trying to get something for him legitimately. It just didn't work out, and so they did him a solid and say, "Hey, man, we're not going to hold you hostage here, man. If you want to go, you go ahead and get on another team, man, and we respect you." And so, but yeah, that story about Hamlin is really nice, man. I saw J2K mention Justin Ross, who almost lost his career. He got on the, I think he got signed as a UDFA last year with Kansas City. He made their 53, man. But man, some good stories happening right now, man. Um, I Greg Stroman is. I know he's got to be pissed off right now. He has got to be pissed off. There was not. There were Terrell Lewis. There was Javon Dexter, and of course Pickens here and there. But no name I heard more of besides Tyree Stevenson than Stroman every day in practice. How he did not make that roster, I don't know whether they're planning to put him on the practice squad. I don't know, but that's I just don't get that, man. I thought he balled his butt off, man. So that really pisses me off. He's not on the practice squad at least.
I mean, that doesn't mean he's not going to make the practice squad yet. He just hasn't been placed there yet. He still has to have the opportunity to find another home. He didn't make the 53. Yeah, that doesn't mean he's not going to be brought up. He should have, man. I think he played well enough to make the 53 for sure. But he had opportunities to play because Jalen Jones, and Josh Blackwell weren't available to play. So he got more opportunities to showcase himself, which might play him onto another 53-man roster. If not, I'm pretty sure he'll be back on the practice squad, man, because he definitely balled out.
Okay. You know who we really didn't talk much about this preseason, and I don't think it's because he didn't play well, and it's Braylon Trahan, and I wanted to sort of throw that at Nomad and just ask what are your thoughts on Braylon Trahan's play through the preseason?
Number one, he's a safety. Number one,
yeah,
and I think people saw him playing in the slot and thought that he was. I think they were trying him as what people would call a big nickel, and when they put a slot, when they put a safety in the slot and have him play down on the line of scrimmage, they call that big nickel, big dime, and all that kind of stuff. But I think he's undersized. I think that's his problem. He is not. I don't think he's strong enough to last in the NFL season for 17 games. Attrition would get the best of him, and he'd get injured. And he's got to bulk up and he's got to get his body together. He can play in this league. I just think it's going to take him time to get his body where he needs to be. If he's going to be knocking around in the box, man, he's got to get a little stronger than what he is right now. I think that's what caught him.
Okay. Samuel, any thoughts on Trahan?
Man, I like Trahan a lot, man.
Yeah.
That dude, he showed a lot of ball hawking ability. He can thump. Yeah, but yeah, he is a smaller dude. It's another guy I just would not be surprised if he played his way onto the practice squad. I think he's definitely going to be on a roster this year, or on a practice squad with a team this year, because the guy has a lot of talent, man. He can play this game. He understands the game, and he showed it right away when he got on the field, man. It's like he's just a quick study to me. I like him a lot.
So they kept 6 corners, man. So just in case we didn't get to them all, it's Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, Josh Blackwell, Jalen Jones. That's what we got. We got 6 corners we kept. I'm still looking up information here, man. It's coming out real fast, man. I'm blown away by some of the stuff I'm seeing here, man. Oh, y'all want to get to some of the players that are out there and the Bears might target?
Sure.
All right. Just recently, Tay Martin, you talk about a receiver. He was a rookie coming out of, I can't remember where he's coming from, but he's an interesting name, a receiver that's out there. Nick Broker, a center from Mississippi that I studied profusely throughout the offseason before the preseason. Nick Broker got cut. He was one of the better centers that I saw coming out in the draft, man. I really think they ought to take a good look at him. If it's about developing a young player, that's one of the players they may want to look at. I wouldn't mind seeing actually, I wouldn't mind seeing if they decided they didn't want to keep Lucas Patrick and they think that Feeney could actually be a backup center. Maybe you want to let Lucas Patrick go and start developing a Nick Broker. But he was really good. The tape I seen of him was really good. I just enjoyed it, and I think he's going to be a good center in this league at some point.
I hate to bounce around, but I want to. Oh, what did I just do? I just had an update from Travis Gibson sending love to the Bears fans. I wanted to actually read out, but somehow I lost it, man. Here we go. Bears Nation, I've been released, and now I'm looking forward to my next step. I appreciate all the love and support and memories. Thank you to the fullest. Much love to the city of Chicago, and you'll forever have a spot in my heart. And that's big of this guy, man. You gotta give this guy love. He balled out. I did see somewhere in the chat that Travis may be saying somewhere that he never requested a trade, and that worries the heck out of me. But even then, it looks like they have a plan, and if Flus and Poles have a plan, that's a plan that I'm with.
All right. Well, you know what, guys, man, we can keep going on and on, but if something happens in between now and the next few hours that we need to jump on here and do an emergency pod, fellas, do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't turned on your notifications, this is a good time to do it. Why? It's because it's a lot of moving parts, and we might have to jump on immediately and do a quick show to, fill you guys in on what's going on, talk about it a little bit, man, but make sure you set your notifications. And how you show solidarity with this group and this crew with the content that we create. If you enjoy what we're doing, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. It will definitely help us move forward and bring you better and better content going forward. So you guys want to wrap it up before we get out of here?
Sure. So yeah, Travis Gibson says, lastly, I never requested a trade. Live on X, you guys can see that later on. No man can stand between God and his plan. He seems to be in good spirits. He'll do the darn thing. Unfortunately, it looks like he'll do it elsewhere. That being said, love you guys in the chat. Thanks for balling out with us today. Armart, B Minor, Smitty, there's some new heads. Please like, share, subscribe. Muck the General, I see you out there. You've been posting some interesting stuff in the chat. Bear Lissimo, fantastic for you to join us. We'll have to try and figure out some sort of timing case scenario, maybe get you on here to have a chat. We'll talk about that later on. Sun Taurus, Dobbsy 34, like, share, subscribe, y'all, please. we would appreciate it. Joseph Matusak, Smitty, and the one J2K, Plank, Puka World. You guys know what it is. Just want to give love to you guys. Looks like we're about to embark on a brand new season. And the last thing I'm going to say here tonight is I don't think any one of us can guess what that practice squad is going to look like. We'll see what it looks like there next week, Cal.
Yes, sir. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys, all the Nomaniacs. We'll see what the squad is going to look like. Hey, we'll be back shortly. You know, once we know what the roster is and once everything is all settled down, once we know what that practice squad does look like, we'll come back and break it all down for you guys.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to say it one more time. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell, people, because you need to hit your notification bell if you want to know when the hell we're coming on the show. It's a busy time, and we have to do impromptu shows sometimes, so we don't always have time to let you guys know ahead of time during the show. So got to do that. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Hey, man, love you guys all the time. This chat was crazy. You know, Maniacs, man, I love y'all, man, with all my heart, man. But we got to go for now. We'll be back soon. Before we go, give it to you like this. Nomad Live, all Bears, all the time.
All the time.
Blew it again, man.
It was closer this time.
Come on, you weren't even ready. You weren't even ready. Hurry up.
Damn it. All right, y'all. Love y'all.
Love y'all, man. Peace out.
Peace.
Boom.